What's up, you guys? James Strickland here. Hope you guys are having a great week. Wanted to bring you guys a new set of videos on YouTube. I know I've been gone for a little while. I apologize. I'm going to give you guys kind of a recap of what has been going on in the last couple of months. Give you guys kind of an outlook on what I'm thinking about doing with the YouTube channel and with lifting and things like that. And hope you guys stay tuned. So we'll dive right on into it. You guys obviously have been asking me and hitting me up with questions and how the meet went and how things are going and what's going on with YouTube, and I'm going to answer all your questions today. So first off, I'm going to let you guys in on kind of a little thing that I'm going to be doing for my channel, and that is obviously a little bit more professional production. I see a real niche in the market, if you will, for athletes doing recaps. There's not a lot of guys doing it, and if they're doing it, they're not really doing it to the professionalism that I think that could be done. So I'm going to step my game up, and I want you guys to tell me what you think in the comments, send me messages, and let me know if you have any suggestions of what you might want to see. And just kind of going forward, any advice that you guys have. I'm not going to act like I know it all. I'm not going to act like I know how to do YouTube to the perfectionist in me. Wants to basically do everything the right way the first time, but some things are my strong suit, some things aren't. But I'm open to anything you guys have for me, and just let me know what you think. So here's the recap for the meet. I'm going to show you guys a quick video of kind of each attempt. I did not get a lot of video at the meet. It was just kind of it was just an off day. I know you guys probably watched the 661 go up a while back, and that went up just very, very easy. It was just crazy how fast that went up. I didn't expect it that particular day, but things happen in training, and then you just kind of roll with the punches. And it happens with the good, it happens with the bad. The 683 that was called for the next week just didn't work. It stapled me to the bench, and there's no excuses in this game when it comes to being strong on any given day. It's almost a toss-up, and I know a lot of you guys think that if you're can't put up your max any particular day of the week, any time of the year, that means you're not strong. That's not the case. Now, when it does come down to if you're not able to do it during meet time, that is an issue, and that's something that I'm also going to be addressing, and I'll show you guys here in a second what I'm going to be doing to address that. But basically, going into the meet, I had a lot of stressful stuff going on in my life. Personal stuff, nothing major, but just enough that it knocked me off of my game. And I went into the meet kind of on a limp leg and just didn't put up the number that particular day. That doesn't mean that it couldn't have been there, a couple weeks later. There's a lot of different what ifs in this game, but at the end of the day, I didn't put it up. I wouldn't say I was embarrassed by my performance at the meet, but I definitely know that I could have done better. I'm disappointed in the training schedule going as perfect as it did, and then just not coming together on meet day. But that's going to come all together in this next training cycle. We're going to basically look at some things. We're going to address some weaknesses here and there, and even things that are not necessarily weaknesses. We're going to go ahead and address those as well, and hit this next 700 attempt with a sledgehammer. So let's dive right on into the meet. Opened up with 640. And on that particular day, 640, that actually is the heaviest that I've ever opened in a meet, which naturally seemed a proper fit because of the way 661 moved and just the way that 640 was moving in training. So go ahead and show this to you guys. So I had Justin Dubs here lifting off for me. Coach Josh Bryant here. This was an IPA meet in Kingwood, Texas with Tiny Meeker. Decent sized pause there. And moved very, very well. There was no reason in my mind that with that particular type of opener moving as well as it did, that my next attempt shouldn't be a PR. And for me, a PR would be anything over 672. Weighed in at the meet at about 292, which is plenty strong for me. I know a lot of guys will suggest going in heavier and things like that. But the thing is, go into a meet at a weight that you feel strong. I'm not one to cut weight because I really don't care about Wilks or anything like that. So I'm not one to go into a meet and think that I need to weigh less for any particular reason. For me, at the level I'm at, it just doesn't matter unless I'm going for some sort of arbitrary number like Wilks or pound for pound strongest. I really don't care about any of that. I just want 700 pounds plus. So I'm going to show you guys the second and third attempts here. Now, in my mind, the way the 640 moved wasn't as fast as I would have liked it to, but you can't see it on video. It's just something that I went off of feel. Now, it may have been just in my mind, in my head, where I was just basically just kind of being mental case that particular day. And the mental game is huge. And if you guys follow my channel at all, you know that that's something that I hold very true. Strength is one thing, but the mental game is huge. And if you can conquer the mental game, you can conquer the strength game every day of the week. But so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the second attempt, which the way that this moved, there was absolutely a little bit longer pause than I'm used to, definitely. You'll see, and it was 302 kilograms, 677 pounds. This would have been a 5-pound PR for me, and would have put me within reaching or within striking distance of the 705 that I was going for on a third. Everything looked good up to this point. Got a perfect liftoff. There is no start command in this particular federation, but as you can see, I don't really drop it or anything crazy. Right there, my left lat just kind of gave out, and it was cramping. It was real bad. I had to roll it out. This is the third attempt. Obviously, I wanted to play it smart. There's no reason to go jumping straight to 705. I could have taken a fourth attempt in this particular federation, so the plan was to go ahead and knock this third attempt out again at 677. I had felt it. I was confident for the weight, but you'll see here that I obviously missed it. But I want you to pay attention, and I'm going to go to a little bit more detail of this. Pay attention to my arms and my levers, basically. How close that I am on a close grip bench, which normally is never a problem, but it's something I'm going to be addressing going forward here. See, that didn't quite get up as far. But so with that, I just, I look at a lot of different things after a meet. After a missed attempt, there's a lot of, just kind of a sour taste in your mouth. You start to wonder, was I strong enough that particular day? Is it just never going to happen? There's a lot of stuff, a lot of negative that creeps in, and that's just part of the thing. If you guys have followed me for any amount of time, you know that when I was trying to break the 600-pound barrier just a couple years ago, I did that. I tried 9 times. It was on the 10th time, literally, that I was able to get 612. And then a month later, I went 633, and then it was just there from then on up. I was up from then on. But when I first attempted 600, I was stapled to the bench. The second time, I was stapled to the bench, and it just kept going and going and going. And every time I go back to my training cycle, I would address something. Either it be just a little bit more back work, or a little bit more recovery, or a little bit more supplement, or whatever the case may be. And you're just always constantly fine-tuning your approach. If you, at any point in time, don't literally feel like, oh man, I should quit, then it's not hard enough. And so that's something that's normal. And you're going to feel that. You're going to wonder, well, is that, 672, is that the most I ever want to do? Is it the most I can do? And the thing is, what brings me back is I remember how I felt through each milestone of bench, of squat, of deadlift, of anything really in life. And anything worth achieving is going to be rough. It's going to be tough. And if it's not, it's probably not worth even achieving. It's something about it. The harder it is, for me anyways, it makes me want to chase it more. But, so with that said, a lot of guys will give up. And that's up to you. I mean, giving up doesn't necessarily mean, quitting and stopping what you're doing doesn't necessarily mean that you're necessarily quitting and you can't do anymore. You got to do your own game. But for me, there's plenty of time left. I'm 38 years old. I don't feel old at all. I don't feel like I've reached my peak. I'm having fun with this, which is the most important thing. I've got a balanced lifestyle. There's nothing in my psyche that would kind of alert me and say, hey, this is probably your limit. So you're damn right. I'm gonna keep going for it, and I want to go for it really soon again, because it's the smart thing to do. It's definitely not dumb. I'm not injured. I'm not hurt in any way. I know there's some strengths that I have that I can keep pushing on. There's some weaknesses that I can definitely address, which definitely brings me to something that I've been looking at for a while, but you can't change things up in meet prep, which is like my close grip. And I really do think that close grip is an excellent way to keep your shoulders and your pecs safe. Very rarely do I have an injury that's anything more than just a simple strain that doesn't heal up in about a week or so. But when it comes down to longevity in the sport, I think staying injury free is definitely part of the game. You have to stay injury free to stay in the sport longer, and the higher weight you get, the more chance for injury. So a couple things that I'm going to be doing here going forward is gain a little bit of weight. Still wanting to stay under 300 pounds. I'm not really looking to go into the 320, 350 range, anything crazy like that. My body type, I think, would be sitting comfortably at a pretty lean and muscular looking 310, 300, 310, and able to train at that weight. And then as I back off a little bit with the calories, come back down to a muscular, a leaner 300 pounds or so. So you'll see that here the next few weeks. Kind of, I'll be upping my calories a little bit, upping the portions, eating a little cleaner so that I can get, eating a little bit less clean so I can get a little more calories in. But definitely staying healthy. I'm not going to be wanting to just go and eat a bunch of junk food and McDonald's and stuff like that. So that's one approach. The second approach, I'm going to show you guys, is the reasoning for my angle or my grip width change. I'm going to show you guys what I'm doing to kind of on my off season when the weights are a little bit lighter, when there's not a lot of stress going into a meet prep. We're making changes. So I got my buddy Justin Dubs over here. Find him at coach_242. I'm going to be working up to probably a set of 5 today. Notice on my grip, we're about an inch and a half wider. Of course, doing so is going to stress a lot more lat engagement, a lot more chest pec engagement, and so I don't want to go super heavy on that because, for obvious reasons, those stabilizer muscles are not ready for any kind of weight that's well above 500 right now, but they soon will be, and I think the stabilization going forward will be that much better. You'll see the angle at which my arm is on the bar is going to look a lot different, and we'll just see riding forward how this looks. This is my new grip width here that I'm going to be training with over the next couple weeks to get up a little bit heavier with weights. I'll show you guys here in a second why exactly I'm thinking about doing this. 500 just for a few reps here to get used to weight.
Last one. Up and back. Push my face. To me. Up.
All right, so take a look at this video here. This is the 677 attempt. Watch my right arm. That's the angle. So it's definitely not stacked. Definitely when you're learning to bench, you want to have your wrist and your elbows stacked to get the most leverage out of it. Now, I have been able to really rely on my triceps to utilize a close grip. Now, this ideal angle here that I'm showing you is what most people, when they're starting out with bench, or most benchers, will utilize that kind of grip. Now, I'm not looking to change it up drastically. I definitely am not going to become a wide grip bencher. There's going to be an element of close grip bench forever because that's just my strength. But at some point in time, and I couldn't tell you exactly when, my grip has literally gone closer and closer and closer, and that's happened every single time that I've gotten up to a weight. I think at this point in time, it just got the best of me a little bit too late. I couldn't do anything about it because I can't change my grip and expect to go utilize those stabilizers that are very virgin to that wider grip in the nature of 705 pounds. So going into the meet, I didn't really realize that I was getting this close, but at the meet, and once I saw the video of the meet, that's the first thing that stuck out to me. So as an athlete that studies the sport and studies myself, always looking to get better, that's the first thing that stood out to me. Even as a coach, I looked at it and I went, that's the first thing I would change if I can have some time to work with it. So definitely what we're doing, I'm working with Josh Bryant, he's my coach. What we're doing over the next few weeks is we're going to actually take the weight back down a little bit. We're not going all the way back down to hypertrophy or anything like that, like we would on the off season. What we're going to do is we're going to go back to probably 5s. And we're going to work on reps of maybe 495 for a set of 5 and get used to that for a few weeks. And then the grip is going to be considerably wider, probably about 2 inches. And so in order to facilitate that grip width, training 2 inches wider, everything has got to be lightened up. And like I said before on that workout video, it's I can't just jump into a wider grip bench and expect to do 550 for reps. It's going to look weaker. I'm going to feel weaker because I'm using a new grip. I mean, that's like with anything. You change something up even just a little bit, and you want to back it off just to accommodate for that. But so I'm going to show you guys, since this is a couple months in the future here, I've done a few workouts with the new grip. I'll show you that real quick just to show you the progression that we're doing. So basically, we've got, start out with 495, and these are, or I'm sorry, 500 for sets of 5. You can see the angle that I'm at now compared to what it was before. So it is definitely more difficult on the shoulders. I definitely feel my shoulders, and I feel my pecs. Definitely feel those at the end of workouts, during the workouts, and I've got to be real careful because that is just virgin muscle, basically. Now, not dramatically, but just definitely to push the point home. When you go out wider, you're going to want to lighten it up. Let's just put it that way. And this was this is about a week later or so. This is pretty recent. This is 545, so we're working up. My best at 3 reps in my training is 600. So it's still considerably lighter, but getting easier. You can see on the bar there, that white area, that's where my grip used to be. And this is the most recent training day. This was last week. This is 560 for 3. Definitely feel pretty good. I did put a little extra stress on my pec on this particular day, so I'm treating it like a minor pec strain, but that's just something to deal with as I'm going wider. I'm going to feel my pecs definitely working harder. So some of the stuff that we're putting in the training to facilitate going a little wider is a lot more back work, a lot of upper back work, obviously. A lot of pec work, a lot of flies, lighter flies, not necessarily heavy. So dumbbells and cable flies, wide grip push-ups. We're even doing some wide grip bench. So that's basically about 3 inches wider than I am, than I was. So definitely, it's probably about 25 inches. And I've got a pretty long range of motion. So that's a considerable distance out there, but we're lightening it up to about 405 for sets of 5 and 6 for 2-3 sets or so. And that really does put a little extra stress on the pecs, but the next week I'm good to go up a little bit heavier. So expect to see in the following weeks on some of the videos I'll be putting out, it will be normally sets of 3, and it's going to be working up to about 600 or so. So we'll probably go through 570, 75, 580, 585, and then maybe 600. And at about that point is when we typically start thinking about meet prep. So we'll be right back into meet prep pretty soon. I would think probably by the summer is when I'm thinking about doing my next meet. And I think that'll be a safe bet because it'll give me time to really work on the new grip, work on some extra strength, really just put my best foot forward going in. Like I said, I'm not injured, not hurt from the last previous attempt at the meet. So I feel like going for another meet here in the next, it would be 12 weeks or so, or 12 to 16 weeks from the last meet. I think that puts us well within a good striking distance and a safe bet that we're not going too many meets too close together. But let's see. That is my plan going forward. I got some notes here. Make sure that I cover everything. Like I said, gaining some mass. Right now I'm weighing about 308 is my heaviest, and that is pretty solid. It's not extra water weight. It's not extra fat. And this is Easter Sunday that I'm recording on this, so this is a couple months after the meet, obviously, so it's giving me some time, about 8 weeks or so, to really work on putting some solid lean muscle on. Feeling good. I don't feel, definitely don't feel weaker. I feel out of shape cardio-wise because being a larger man, things are just a little more difficult, but I definitely have put on some extra muscle. I can feel it, just the size, and I'm using that strength, so it's not just exercise for no reason. It is functional, usable strength, and I definitely am feeling that. Shoulders, we've been doing a lot of overhead presses to get the shoulders a little bit healthier, a little bit wider, because we're, as you know, obviously wider grip. I want a wider base with the shoulders. So that's something we've been working on. So basically, in a nutshell, I want to cover what I'm going to do with the YouTube channel for you guys. I wanted to change it up, kind of make it a little more interesting, get you guys involved. So I'm not going to be doing necessarily the voiceovers like I had been for the training recaps. What I'm going to do is probably show you some of the bigger lifts of the week, some of the things that I definitely want to showcase. If I change anything up, you know, I'll basically spotlight that particular lift so you guys can see what exactly I'm doing with that lift and why I'm changing it up. What I'll probably end up doing is just setting out the schedule and saying, okay, on this particular week, I did this, this, and this is why. And then if there's any changes for the next week, instead of going over each week and recapping every single set and rep, I'm just going to kind of tell you, okay, this week I put in tricep, you know, extensions versus monastery extensions for this reason, just to change it up for the feel, or change it up because I had a little strain or whatever. And hopefully you guys will like it. I really want to incorporate more of an FAQ section, as kind of a segment at the end of the videos. So I'm going to be looking forward to you guys submitting your videos. I'm sorry, not videos, your comments. You can submit your videos if you want. It'll be more for review. But I do that too on Instagram. But if you guys have comments, questions, I answer just about everybody. Now, if you want to just leave them down in the comment section as far as what you would maybe want me to answer on the next video, I'll select a few. I'm not going to select all of them. Obviously, there's way too many. But I definitely get a lot of frequently asked questions through various social media, and I want to, you know, filter that out and get you guys some information on that. I don't, you know, like I said in the beginning, I don't claim to know everything. I know what works for me. Sometimes that can work for you. And if it doesn't, maybe you can apply it in some way, some form or fashion to yourself or to somebody that you're training or that you're helping out. And at the end of the day, you know, I just definitely want to, you know, push that. My biggest thing is putting out good information that guys can use, guys and girls, and in their training to stay safe and be strong without having to be stupid about it. There's so much misinformation out there, and a lot of guys will just tell you something to sell you something. And in my case is, you know, yeah, I have programs and things like that, but, you know, go look at those and go look at the results for yourself. I'd rather, you know, have you guys, you know, ask me straight up, what, you know, what do you do for this? What has happened when, you know, when you did this, this, and this, what happened? And I'm very open and honest. I want to let you guys know what I'm thinking and what happens in my training life. The biggest thing about me is, you know, I came into the powerlifting sport, and I've always been an athlete. So I have my background in swimming and you know, obviously didn't look like this. But my shoulders, my upper body, stretching, recovery, all those things have been ingrained in me since I was, this was 24 years ago that I started being an avid athlete. And I've always been an athlete at an elite level, regardless of what the sport is. So my thing is just, you know, if I can pass on a little bit of the knowledge, and then of course, I don't know it all, so I'm always trying to pick up knowledge. So if you guys have any suggestions for me, I am always open to it. You know, like I said, I don't know it all. And if you know something, even if you don't bench 600 pounds, doesn't mean you can't help me out. But anyways, I will wrap this video up. I hope you guys you know, you like this kind of a segment. It's not quite going to be like this every single time. I'm going to throw in some couple, you know, things. I actually got a green screen on the way. I'll let you behind the scenes a little bit, where I'm actually going to be kind of working my hand at some digital magic while I'm doing some of the recaps and stuff like that. But I really want to get some feedback from you guys. Definitely, please like and subscribe. You guys can find me on Instagram, where I'm pretty much at all the time. I answer questions day and night, literally answer every single DM. So if you guys are on Instagram, find me at SwimHack. Like I said, please like and subscribe this channel, share it with your friends, and shoot me any questions that you have through any social media, and leave a comment below. And I will see you guys soon. Peace.